Phili.
It's finally Friday again. Assalamu alaikum.
From South Africa to the world.
Let's go.
Don't miss out on Friday afternoon vibes like no other. Put it on and leave it on. Join us for inspiration and positivity from trailblazing guests to topics you want to hear. Your Friday just got better. Let's make the end of the week better together. Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, young, fresh and trending.
زينت السماء وضعت الجبال أمرت البحار وخلقت الجنان سيرت الكواكب أضأت النجوم فجرت الأنهار فأرحت القلوب وللعباد أنزلت الإسلام وللهداية أنزلت.
It's gone by a few minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock. Of course, it's Central African time wherever you are in the world. Sanbanani nonke, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. It's finally Friday again, so assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Of course, it is Bibi Amina Phili here. And I always say that I love my Friday afternoons because I get to spend it with you. Jummah Mubarak to you and yours. An exhilarating start to your weekend. Of course, it's 90.4 FM in Durban and 105.6 FM, of course, in Pietermaritzburg. You're watching us live on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Of course, you can stay on that dial as well. If you missed out on the episode, of course, you can catch us on Spotify. Yes, of course. All you simply need to do is type in Feel Good Friday and you don't miss out on all the amazing shows that we have for you. But of course, today, we are kicking off a new segment called Feel Good Stories. And this segment is dedicated to those individuals that do so much for the community without wanting anything in return. Those unsung heroes, yes, those individuals. We as the Feel Good Friday team and family just want to say thank you. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for making our community better. Our unsung hero today is Mr Ayanda, and we chat to him as he shares his motivation and inspiration for building a better world, one home at a time. For our headlines as well, we are talking about housing in South Africa. There are a lot more that we're going to be doing as well, but for thereafter, we're going to be having for our Feel Good interview, we're going to be chatting to illustrator and author from the River to the Sea, Nati Ngubane. And today's question of the day is, what is your family favorite recipe that has been passed down from generation to generation that still makes waves in the kitchen today? Of course, you can share with us your stories on our WhatsApp numbers. That's 060-904-1056. All that and more right here for your listening pleasure.
This is the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, only on your number one radio station.
Absolutely. And of course, the clock strikes and it's time for our traffic update.
Feel Good Friday, traffic update. Updates that help you plan your day like a boss.
Good afternoon, the listeners of Radio Alensal. Salemanekom. That's only that I know. But let's go straight to our traffic. You see, N3 westbound Liberty Mall. Liberty Mall, we got one obstruction there. There's a truck broken down that is at the vicinity of Pietermaritzburg. As well as if you are driving down with N3 eastbound, somewhere by Hilton Avenue or Peter Brown, we got a report of the obstruction on that vicinity. We go down with M4 North or M4 South by Palito. We got to stop and go in that vicinity. You have to have your hour on your dashboard so that you can't delay your processes. Then from there, you know that N2 South Joiner Road prospecting is already open since yesterday. You remember that that road was closed for some 2 or 3 weeks because the bridge collapsed. As we speak now, N2 southbound is clearly open. For now, let me just park it there for our traffic update. Thank you.
Good Friday. Traffic updates. Updates that help you plan your day like a boss.
Want to tantalize those taste buds? Halton's has you covered. From freshly baked treats to imported confectionery that brings international flavors right to your door. Indulge in our daily food menu, home industry goodies, and those household brands that you love, now with global twists. Visit Halton's at 358 Brickfield Road, open till 9 p.m. daily, or call us at 031-207-6108. Halton's, where every bite is a delight.
Sunnah a Day, proudly brought to you by Sunpick. 100% pure sunflower cooking oil. Sunpick, cook more with less. Sunnah a Day, proudly brought to you by Sunpick. 100% pure sunflower cooking oil. Sunpick, cook more with less.
Imagine this. You're putting together a 7-color meal, from the creamy pasta to the glazed carrots and flavorful onion gravy. This entire meal is made with our 100% pure extra virgin olive oil from our La Familia range, bringing outstanding quality and taste to your kitchen. Shop La Familia 100% pure extra virgin olive oil at any leading supermarkets near you. La Familia, heart of the home.
This is the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, only on your #1 radio station. Tune in to the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili.
It's finally Friday again. Assalamu alaikum.
From South Africa to the world.
Let's go.
Don't miss out on Friday afternoon vibes like no other. Put it on and leave it on. Join us for inspiration and positivity from trailblazing guests to topics you want to hear. Your Friday just got better. Let's make the end of the week better together. Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, young, fresh and trending.
You know me.
A few minutes past the hour of 2 o'clock. And of course, if you're listening, it is the Feel Good Friday with myself, Bibi Amina Phili. And of course, we're jumping straight into our topic for today.
Of the day. Feel Good Stories.
Absolutely, the feel-good stories. Now, according to the statistics, South Africa, over 3 million households live in informal settlements or shacks. Now, South Africa faces a significant house backlog, with estimated suggesting a shortage of over 2 million homes. Now, many communities lack access to basic service like sanitation, water, and electricity. And for the very first time, we welcome to the Feel Good Friday for our Feel Good Stories segment. Today, we're honoring an unsung hero who has been making a real difference in his community. Mr Ayanda is a remarkable individual who is, of course, dedicating his life to building houses for the poor in South Africa. Despite facing his own challenges, Mr Ayanda's selflessness and determination, of course, have inspired countless of people. Welcoming, of course, to the Feel Good Friday, Mr Ayanda Msweli. Welcome.
Thank you very much for welcoming me in this platform.
It's only a pleasure. Now, let's start from the beginning, Mr. Ayanda. What sparked your passion for helping others, and how did you decide to focus on building houses for the poor?
Okay, before we go further, let me do that disclaimer that I normally do. My English is broken. Well, that's one. Two, the English that I brought here and come. I brought this English and come here is for taking my child to the doctor. You know, if you are taking your child to the doctor, you don't explain anything. You know, just, no, his heat is playing, and no, he cough. That's it. That's the English that I brought here. Okay, let's go back to your question. Where does this thing started from? Where does this thing come from? All boils down to the poverty. I grew up from the home of poverty. If you want to know the name poverty, you will have come to my house, home, far north, KwaZulu-Natal, Mtubatuba, where I grown up a bit. And what do you call? Grown up, yeah, where I grown up. You know, my house, my family house, you don't need any explanation and definition. You can see poverty written, even in our faces. It was written like that. I think this sparked my heart to say, if I grow up, if I have the opportunity, I will not afford to see a person grow under this condition where I grew up.
Absolutely. And it's inspirational indeed. But what has been the most rewarding experience for you while building houses for others?
You see, if you have managed to build a house, you have already sent the message of Ubuntu. Because all what we are preaching is Ubuntu. Let me put it like this. You know, the philosophy is Ubuntu, our philosophy. The methodology is a bucket, all right? Then the M&E, monitoring and evaluation, we use these social media platforms, as well as a practical end product of what we were asking the donation for. So if I see a person go inside the house that we built, all of us, because it's not from me, it's all of us putting your 10 rand here, somebody putting his 10 rand, 20 rand, 5 rand and 2 rand. It means that the mission is to develop or to regrind Ubuntu. So if you say a person that was living in what can I say it? In the yes, if you see the disadvantaged person now is advantageous because of abantu, because of people coming together, putting their 10 rands together to build the decent house for the person, then it went straight to my heart. And on top of that, if we are building these houses, you build a house in a manner that if I had to live in that house, I will be more happy and I'll be joyous to live in that. You don't just build something that you can't stay in yourself.
Absolutely. Yes. So what message would you like to share with the audience today for this initiative that you've come up with?
Mina, I will say, you see these people that got money, you know these people that got money, if they can come down and assist the organizations, because the first thing first is to liberate the message, to liberate the organization, the NGOs, the NPOs, because they do have the idea to help the people, but they don't have the idea how to create funds, how to get funds. So for them, if they can stand up and go to door to those people that are disadvantaged and ask as small as 10 rand and 5 rands, then their goal will be accomplished. I mean, the organization now. For these people that got money, I'm asking them, they can just donate in whichever organization. If they can just donate in each and every organization, if they donate, then it means that these people on the ground that are willing to help other people, their goal will be achieved through the assistance of these people that do have money in their hands.
Absolutely. Yes. But how do you think us as individuals, as South African, can work together, especially as a society, to address housing challenges in South Africa?
You see, this thing of the houses, I heard you mentioning the stats, 2.7 million, 3 million, and the backlog of 2 million. You see, the speed of government building the houses cannot match the speed of the people running to poverty. Because every day is like 10 people, if 10 people are getting job, to make their lives better. You will have 20 people run straight to poverty. So it means this should not be the responsibility of the government alone. It should be the responsibility for those who are privileged. As I was mentioning, these rich people, if they can come down having one vision to say, we want to help the government, we want to help our people, but through the organization, because at some point, if you take your money through the government, at some point you won't know that it will reach where you want it to reach. But if you use the organization, maybe the goal will be achieved. So it means it should be any person on the ground should have the vision to assist the other person. The people that do have something should be there betting on their shoulders to say, we must assist these people. Then we can change South Africa. We can change Africa.
Absolutely. You know, I was going through Instagram, I think it was day before yesterday, and I stumbled upon your page, and I was absolutely impressed of how much and how you are doing for the community. So as part of the Feel Good Friday, we would like to obviously certify you with a certificate of appreciation for the hard work that you've done, and we have it here framed up nicely. We have it framed up nicely. For all the work, for all the amazing work that you've done for the community. And of course, this certificate is obviously in recognition of your unwavering dedication and, your sacrifice and your contribution to serving the community. And this selflessness and commitment to making a positive impact have not gone unnoticed. And we, as the Feel Good Friday and Radio Al Ansar, we see you. And we absolutely appreciate you. And I think we all should give Mr. Msweli a round of applause in studio, because it is amazing stuff. And thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm honored. Even to get this opportunity, I'm honored. Thank you so much. So much. To me, it means a lot. It means this is our oil to have this engine running. Thank you so much.
It is only a pleasure. Are there any parting words from your end before we say goodbye to you?
People of your caliber and your radio station, if you are able to identify those people on the ground, you also making the difference in the society of poor people living under underprivileged conditions.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ayanda and Msweli. Hoping that we can get to speak to you perhaps later in the I would say later in the year, or maybe even next year, to see how far you've gone with your targets. And if you're listening and if you can contribute anything to Mr. Ayanda and Msweli's foundation, please do as well. Of course, you're listening to us live, 90.4 FM in Durban and 105.6 FM in Pietermaritzburg. Of course, it is a Feel Good Friday right here for your listening pleasure.
Planning a year-end function? Let Al Ansar Deli make it unforgettable. With delicious customized catering for up to 50 people, we've got everything you need to celebrate in style at Al Ansar Conference Center. Perfect for companies looking to end the year on a high note with flavor, ease, and a touch of class. Book now and let us handle the rest. Call Fatima Kareem on 081 746 0201. Al Ansar Deli, where every event is served with a smile. 207 West Road, Overport.
This segment is brought to you by Kenfield Auto, your RMI approved service and repair specialist. 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Kenfield Auto.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ربنا إنك جامع الناس ليوم لا ريب فيه إن الله لا يخلف الميعاد.
Car won't start?
Kenfield Auto.
Noisy brakes?
Kenfield Auto.
Due for a service?
Kenfield Auto. Kenfield Auto, the answer to all your car problems. Your service and repair specialist for your VW, Audi, Suzuki, Toyota, or just about any vehicle. Kenfield Auto, your RMI and insurance approved workshop to handle them all. 236 Brickfield Road, Overport. Call us on 031 207 2399. Kenfield Auto.
This is the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, only on your #1 radio station.
गम सभी राहतों तस्कीन में ढल जाते हैं गम सभी राहतों तस्कीन में ढल जाते हैं जब करम होता है हालात बदल जाते हैं आका आका इसमें अहमद का वजीफा है हर एक गम का इलाज इसमें अहमद का वजीफा है हर एक गम का इलाज लाख खतरे हो इसी नाम से टल जाते हैं जब लिया नामे नबी मैंने दुआ से पहले
Feel good stories of the day.
And of course, it's 90.4 FM in Durban and 105.6 FM in Pietermaritzburg. Everyone is excited in the studio as well. Alhamdulillah. Well, like I said, we have the question of the day. Now, the question of the day that I'm posing to you, if you're sitting at home after the thick Jummah lunch, I would like to know from you, what is your favorite family recipe that has passed down from generation to generation that you love and that goes for every function, every family function? It has to be there. If that food is not there, then the function is not successful. So tell us via our WhatsApp numbers. That is 060-904-1056. Let us know your thoughts as well. Some messages coming through here. It says, Assalamu alaikum, Bibi Amina. Great show, very inspirational. Please share with me the details of the young man you had in studio. I would like to contribute to his cause. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for him, and it's people like him we need in our community. And that was from Sister Nazima. Yes, Sister Nazima, I will indeed share with you the details. That's why we are a community radio station. That's why we do what we do, is to bring individuals like himself to inspire us, to open our hearts, to do amazing things as well. So yes, like I said, the question of the day is, what's your favorite family recipe that has passed down from generation to generation? Of course, you can share those messages via our WhatsApp numbers. That's 060-904-1056. And like I said, there's a message here. It says, Assalamu alaikum, Bibi Amina. It's not a recipe, but it is actually a food. It's my grandmother's dal and rice. It goes down well at any event, especially Friday afternoons when the kids come back from school. They sit around the table and have it. Those moments are the priceless ones where we have to bring the family together. So it's dal and rice for Sister Suhaila. Well done to you. Well, me and my family and I, what we tend to enjoy the most is that wholesome chicken curry. The wholesome chicken curry that the mother makes, that the grandmother makes. That even when you go to other people's houses and you try to, they try to mimic the recipe, it just doesn't taste like mums. It doesn't taste like grannies. It's just amazing. Keep those messages coming through. Of course, we are going to be reading them for you live, but of course, right here for your listening pleasure, it is the Feel Good Friday with myself, Bibi Amina Phili.
This is the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, only on your number one radio station.
As your children get older, it can become difficult to prepare them for grown-up life. And as a parent, you can only guide them in the right direction. Children today are under so much more pressure to perform and need all the help they can get to one day have a successful career. Focus Straight was developed to support cognitive health and brain function for improved memory and concentration during exams and stressful times. Focus Straight, the first formulation of its kind in South Africa, available from all leading pharmacies and Takealot without a prescription.
There's nothing quite like the taste of a traditional family meal, and at the heart of every great dish is a key ingredient that brings it all together. That ingredient is Sunfoil pure sunflower cooking oil, made from only the finest sunflower seeds. It's a perfect way to enhance the taste of your family's favorite foods. Sunfoil cooking oil is more than just oil. It's the key to bring your family together over a delicious meal and making every bite taste better. Remember, the key ingredient to a great family meal is sunfoil. Tradition just tastes better.
Of the day.
The Shahada, the Salah, the Zakat, the fasting, the Shahada, the Salah, the Zakat, the fasting, the
So today for our headlines, we talk housing in South Africa. Now, of course, did you know that South Africa's housing crisis is one of the most pressing socioeconomic challenges facing the country? Now, with over 3 million households living in informal settlements or shacks, the housing backlog is a stark reminder of the legacy of apartheid era, the spatial planning, urbanization, and the economic inequality. Now, a staggering 63% of the population resides in the urban areas, with this number projected increases 71% by 2030. But however, the demand for housing far outstrips supply, resulting in a severe shortage of affordable housing options. Now, this has led, obviously, to a proliferation of informal settlements, with many communities lacking access to basic services like sanitation, water, and even electricity. Now, of course, to combat this, the government had initial planned programs like the Reconstruction and Development Program, the RDP, and the National Housing Subsidy Scheme. While these efforts aim to provide affordable housing options of low-income households and reduce housing backlog, challenges persist. Now, but did you know that over 50% of households in informal settlements are headed by women? The average household size in informal settlement is 3.5 people, often living in cramped and unsanitary conditions. Now, the housing backlog is estimated to be over 4 million units, and with financing gaps are over 50 billion. Now, organizations like, of course, Habitat for Humanity South Africa are working tirelessly to provide affordable housing solutions and promote community development. Their innovative approaches include, obviously, community-led housing development, the incremental housing construction, and the sustainable building practices. Now, as we delve deep into the solutions for South Africa and housing challenges, of course, we must indeed prioritize a few things that is affordable housing, community engagement, sustainable development, gender-sensitive housing policy, and innovative financing mechanism. Of course, you can join us next time as we explore more solutions to South Africa housing crisis. Lots more to chat, lots more to do here on the Feel Good Friday, right here for your listening pleasure.
This is the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, only on your #1 radio station.
All right, so something exciting that we did today, we, sat down with the author and illustrator from The River to the Sea children's book, Nathi Ngubane. And of course, to get the full ambiance, the full experience of what went down, take a listen and watch to this. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the Feel Good Friday exclusive with myself, Bibi Amina. Today we have an important guest, an amazing individual. He goes by the name of Nathi Ngubane, who of course is the illustrator of the prominent book From the River to the Sea. Welcoming you, Assalamu alaikum and welcome.
Thank you, Bibi. I'm so happy to be with you here today.
Thank you so much for taking up your time from your busy schedule to fit us in.
Of course, I'm never too busy for you guys.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. From obviously a small township in Durban and becoming a prominent writer and illustrator. Can you share some of your childhood memories that, of course, shaped your passion for art and storytelling?
Well, it all began in 1996 when I was about 6 years old, and my dad would buy me VCR tapes, a whole bunch of Disney movies that I would spend a lot of time watching instead of going out and playing with my fellow friends. And that is when I developed this love and passion for the art that I was watching in these movies, and also the storytelling and how these characters were carefully crafted. And then when I got a bit older, by the age of 13, 14, I realized that this is what I wanted to do. Like, art was definitely something that I saw as a career, but also writing as well. And I then began writing my own stories, doing my own comics. And in the year 2008, I published my first novel, actually, called Teenagers Living Life. And the older I got and I left high school and went into university, I then got into graphic design. And what I loved about graphic design is that, it wasn't just fine arts, so you were not limited. You could do a whole bunch of things. You could do animation, you could do fine art, you could do design work, and that's what I wanted to do in my career. I wanted to expand and do different things. And of course, I also became a cartoonist as well for the Daily Vox back in 2014. And my passion for cartooning, political cartooning rather, was inspired by Dr. Nanda Subin, Zapiro, Dr. Jack and Curtis, Mangena, and many other prominent South African cartoonists. And that really challenged me to actually tackle the injustices of what our politicians were doing in our country and the corruption charges. And also after that, I then realized that, okay, yes, I do love political cartooning, but I have a new passion now. So that passion is social justice. I then began in 2019 getting into social justice cartoons, which I do or produce today for Daily Maverick under the banner Ubuntu's. And so now that is where I think for the rest of my life, actually, that is what I want to do. I would like to do human rights related work and social justice related work as well. So here I am today.
Wow, it sounds like quite a journey. Now, your political cartooning background is quite impressive for obviously having worked with the Daily Vox and the Citizen News. How did that obviously shape your career or the experience?
Well, with political cartooning, it was a unique career to get into, because even today, a number of cartoonists, we are a very small community really, and cartoonists are far different from illustrators, where if you're an illustrator, you could just draw a picture as it is. But if you're a cartoonist, you have to be clever, you have to use idioms, you have to use metaphors, you have to actually challenge the thinking of the masses. And also, you also have to teach what the people, for those who are not following the news, cartoons are a powerful tool to actually inform people. So that really led to my social justice career as well, because political cartooning and social justice aren't very different from each other. So that is how my career came to be.
Awesome. Now, of course, the reason why we're all here is for this amazing book that you have written and illustrated. Tell us a bit more about the journey of writing this book.
Well, I've always known about the conflict in Palestine for the longest of times. And I've always wanted to do something because, I mean, coming from South Africa and being a South African, we know too well what Palestinians are going through, which is apartheid, a system that we emerged off in 1994. And October 7th happened, and since I work for the Daily Maverick, I produced 2 cartoons. The first one comparing apartheid Israel to South Africa's apartheid and how similar it was. And the second cartoon, which I got in trouble for in January of this year, was a cartoon talking about Ubuntu and our spirit as South Africans and our support for Palestinians because of the ICJ case that was brought by our lawyers. And I got into a lot of trouble with that one. Zionists were basically writing letters to my editor, commenting negatively, saying that I should be fired. And a person that is anti-Semitic, such as myself, doesn't belong to be in this platform. So, fortunately for me, Daily Maverick stood by my side, and I was then like, okay, wow, I almost lost my job, but yeah, let me actually continue now with the coloring book. Let me continue my work because I saw how impactful Palestinian voices could be. And, you know, as I said, the ICJ case that inspired the book, the idea to form this book, and also the murals that I was seeing around the world, and the protests that were happening around the world as well, inspired the book. And we didn't want to just make it any coloring book. We wanted to make it an activity book that will be a gateway into Palestine, where kids can learn about the Nakba, learn about literary icons like Edward Said, learn about activists like Ahed Tamimi, learn about what it means to be in solidarity, what it means to be under a system, an oppressive system called apartheid, and just to get young minds to become activists, young activists at a young age. And of course, we had to consult professionals before we published the book. We consulted parents and teachers, journalists on the ground in Gaza, and anti-Zionist scholars like Ilan Pape before we published the book, just to make sure that everything flowed nicely and the messaging was correct. And here we are today.
Absolutely. Now, I do remember when you launched the book, there was some controversy that stirred in the local bookstore. So tell us about that experience.
Well, so it all started in late May with the South African Jewish Board of Deputies putting out a statement saying that our book, From the River to the Sea, a coloring book, is calling for the genocide of Jewish people. And they further went on to say that we are indoctrinating children with this book. Mind you me, this is just the cover. They haven't even seen what the content inside the book was. And after that, we received a lot of hate mail from Zionist saying that, yes, they've contacted Exclusive Books to remove this disgusting book from their shelves, and that these kind of material shouldn't exist in today's democracy in South Africa. And of course, messages of hate followed me as well in my LinkedIn account, in Facebook. And some of the threats were, if I come across this book, I will burn it. Another threat was, I would love to purchase copies of this book so I can use it as toilet paper. Another threat was, I do not qualify to talk about the Middle East conflict. Who am I, you know, to create such material? So Exclusive Books, of course, fell under pressure to remove the book. And fortunately for me, pro-Palestinian groups like Palestine Solidarity Campaign, Healthcare Workers for Palestine, Social Intifada, they all came to our rescue, and they all pushed back against the so-called banning of the book from Exclusive Books. And they were protests in Cape Town as well. I think there was a protest outside of an Exclusive Books in Cape Town back in early June. And of course, Exclusive Books then felt under pressure to put out two statements. The first one was, we do not censor or approve books. And then the second statement was, after carefully reviewing the content of this book, we find it not to be offensive. So therefore, it's going back on the shelf. So those were two different statements, really. And I was quite confused. But overall, I was glad that Exclusive Books did their research about the book. And they put the book back in the shelves. And just lastly, to touch on that, as a South African living in a democratic country, I felt that my freedom of expression was being violated when my book was being removed. Are we not allowed to talk about Palestinian content? Because I know for a fact that Exclusive Books have a lot of Israeli content. So what about Palestinians, and what about what they are going through, and what about their history? And that is what this book is telling. It's a gateway into Palestine. So we deserve to have Palestinian content in South Africa.
Absolutely. Now, your journey obviously highlights the power of art and storytelling in shaping our perspective. Now, what advice would you give to a young storyteller or young creative to get the message out there of what's happening in Palestine?
Well, what I would tell a young creative is that being a creative, we have a responsibility. And our responsibility is to tell important stories with what we were given, with the talent that we were given. So I would say if you're a creative, if you're a writer, if you're an artist, you are doing a very, very important job, because we need people to tell the truth about what is happening in Gaza. We need people to be on the right side of history, to teach young minds about what it means to be in solidarity. So I would advise and I would encourage young artists and writers and poets to come in and join us as we fight this injustice that is happening in Gaza, that is happening in Lebanon, and Sudan, and all these other places that need the attention, that need their voices to be heard.
Now, since the launch, how many copies have you sold?
Well, we've actually sold about 13,000 copies.
13,000, wow.
Yes, so on Wednesday, we actually had an event where we were handing over a check. So we work with Penny Appeal South Africa. They have a Gaza Appeal project. And we worked with Penny Appeal South Africa, and all of the proceeds from the sale of this book have been going to Gaza. So the check that we handed on Wednesday from the 13,000 copies that were sold was 240,000. That is strictly going to humanitarian aid for those who are in need in Gaza.
Absolutely. Now, lastly, how do you see your work contributing to the brighter future of South Africa and the world at large?
Well, when I created this book, I felt that I wasn't going to wait 10, 20, 50 years to talk about the story of Palestine. I wanted to talk about Palestine now, as this genocide is happening in real time. As you know, close to 50,000 Palestinians have lost their lives. So kids need to learn about this. Kids in the future as well. Like, I wanted to make this book a tool that will be used from 20 years from now on as a record to see what's been going on for the longest of time, and the violence that Palestinians have endured. And this book is basically, I want it to be a history book. In the year 2050, in the year 2080, I would like the future to know about what is currently happening in 2024. So my work is always not to just educate the present kids, but also the kids from the future. And it's all about making a difference, really. And as a human rights activist as well, I want to continue telling the stories of injustices that are happening in our world.
And putting your stamp on history.
And putting my stamp on history, definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I'm hoping we can catch up a little bit later.
Thank you, Bibi Amina. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, of course, you've heard it here first on your Feel Good Friday exclusive. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.
#1 radio station.
Hungry for flavour? Head over to Nando's Pavilion, Westville Mall or Oceans Mall, where our flame-grilled peri-peri chicken is always fresh and flavourful. Experience our hospitality by dining in at Nando's Pavilion, Westville Mall or Oceans Mall, which are all NIHT certified, and stand a chance to win a holiday getaway for 4 valued at 10,000 Rand at the Umhlanga Sands. Nando's! Fire it up!
This most repeated dua of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is brought to you by Continental Butcher Baker Deli. Quality, freshness and value. Our promise to you since 1992.
يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك.
If you're looking for a delicious selection of freshly made baked goods, decadent deli treats, and succulent meats, there's no need to chop around anymore. Continental Butcher Baker Deli offers an award-winning service presenting exceptional quality at competitive prices. Superb choice grade lamb, beef, and chicken. Mouth-watering homemade processed meats and gourmet marinades and scrumptious baked goodies. Quality, freshness, and a money-back guarantee. Visit Continental in Argyle Road.
Continental Sausage Circus, now featuring 80 different types of sausages. Hurry before there's not a sausage.
This is the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili, only on your number one radio station.
Under the stars, I raise my hands in prayer. Tears falling, carrying my despair. Your memories linger, they fill my heart with grace. In every shadow, in every vacant place. Oh, Allah.
And of course, it is your number one radio station, and that is Radio Al Ansar. It's gone by a few minutes till we have to say Assalamu Alaikum. But just to keep you in the loop of things as to what's happening in and or around your Durban city. Well, exciting things are going to be taking place at Checkers tomorrow between 10 and 2. We have the team that's going to be there as well. That's Zahir Basa, Siraj Basa, and Salma Qazi as well. The team is going to be joining them there as well. Come for all the bargains that Checkers Foods Cowie Park is going to have for you. Exciting things. I think the winners were chosen this morning for the trolley dash, for the kids' trolley dash. So that's something exciting to look forward to. So more exciting things. Now, Checkers Foods Cowie Park is excited to announce the opening of the Pet Shop Science and our specialist pet shop where you can get all your pet supplies in store. Premium food, delicious treats, fun toys, and so much more to keep your pet healthy and happy. So that's at the Checkers Foods Cowie Park. We are excited. We are indeed excited for tomorrow. I can't wait to see you. I'm going to be there. I'm hoping that you come through. Say hi, say hello. I'm sad that Tobago's not going to be with us. She's going to be at home enjoying and relaxing. Something that we wish. Okay, she's not. Where are you going? She's not going to be at home. Okay, I'll ask her after the show where she's going to be, but she's not going to be at home. So we did pose a question to you lovely listeners. And we asked you for our question of the day is, what is your favorite family recipe that has been passed down through generations and generations? Of course, you can share your story behind this dish and how it brings you and your family closer together. All right, so some answers coming through, some messages coming through as well. It says, Assalamu alaikum, Bibi Amina. It's Sister Zuleika here. My favorite family recipe is my grandmother's chicken curry. It's been passed down from my great-grandmother who brought it from India. Every time we make it, we remember our roots and the love that's been shared through generations. Another message coming through here, it says, Assalamu alaikum, Bibi Amina. It's Sister Suhaila. No, not Suhaila. Sister Razia here. My family's secret recipe is our traditional Eid cookies. Okay, so my great aunt started making them in the 1950s, and now we're making them together every year. It's a special bonding time, and the cookies are a hit with everyone who tries them. Another message coming through here. It says, my favorite family recipe is Mum's famous lasagna, and she learned it from her Italian grandmother, and we make it for every special occasion. It's a symbol of love, warmth, and togetherness. And that's Sister Radia, not Razia, Radia. All right, another message coming through here from Sister Fatima. She says, Assalamu alaikum, Bibi Amina. Our family's go-to recipe is my grandfather's barbecue sauce. He created it in the 1970s, and we still use the same recipe today. It's a staple at all our family gatherings and reminds us of our our love and his love and legacy. And our last message there we're going to be reading, inshallah. It says, my favorite family recipe is our traditional Sunday dinner, roast chicken and mashed potatoes. My grandmother started the tradition and now we continue with our own families, and it's time to connect, share stories and make memories. Of course, you can also share your messages as well. If I can locate the studio phone. Right, okay, so some more messages coming through here. It says, Salam's awesome show. Please let us know the name of the nasheed playing in the background. Okay, so that nasheed is by Ibrahim and it is titled Jannah. Yes, so it's by Ibrahim and it is titled Jannah. All right, so I think we've come to the end of yet another amazing edition of the Feel Good Friday. Don't forget to join me next week, same time, same place, as we debunk topics that, of course, you would love to hear. Let's make the end of the week better together. A big shukran to Zach and Asif for the production that we have watched on our Facebook channel, alhamdulillah. And a thank you to Bega for making it possible for everything to go smoothly in studio. And thank you, the amazing listeners, for allowing me to keep you company for these amazing hours. On that note, it's been fun. It's been exciting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Tune in to the Feel Good Friday with Bibi Amina Phili.
It's finally Friday again.